We have been married for 43 years.
5 months and 3 days.
No, that last part's wrong. It'll be 44 years in August. Gary and I met when we both worked at Sears. We worked at the same warehouse in downtown Dallas. My mother was my supervisor. One day she told me, I met the nicest boy and you need to meet him. And I was dating somebody else and I wasn't interested. But Mother kept on, have you met that boy yet? I said, Mom, who is he, really? Tell me. And she said, well, his name is Gary with some last name I can't pronounce. A friend of mine that worked there and I went to the time clock machine. You had to punch your time card in. And we found Gary with some unpronounceable last name and we hid around the corner to watch who would come in and punch that card. And after he did, I went back to my mother. I said, you have got to be kidding me. Mom, he's a motorcycle thug. He had a leather jacket and he was carrying a helmet and he had chains on his boots. And I was dating a guy at the time that played in the school orchestra and actually read books. But Gary was as persistent as my mother. After we finally did meet each other, he drove a forklift and he would drive by on his forklift and then he'd back it up and while I was working and he'd say, hey, how you? And I told Mother, he doesn't even talk in complete sentences.
Every time she would walk down an aisle to fill orders, I would back up and watch her walk down the aisle.
When we got married when we were both 19. And that's too young to be smart about it.
We kind of grew up together.
Yeah. And we made a lot of mistakes.
Well, not a lot.
Yeah, enough.
Made a few.
Even after 43 years, there's still surprises, but it's easier and it's comfortable and we know where we're going. After all this time, we have the same goals. I'm not sure we did in the beginning, and I think that's important to know where you want your marriage to go. Do you think there's differences from now?
Yeah, you hit it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's one thing we've learned is that I'm always right.
I'm still working on that one. The advice I would give new couples is when you get married, you're making a vow, which is a promise, not only to the person you're marrying, but to God. And you better bring up your end of the bargain or things could get rough. And you know, the only thing that stops that vow is death.
Need to be aware that feeling like you love somebody is gonna come and go.
It has to be something you choose.
You choose, it's an action. To love somebody is an action that you choose. There was a time period when I thought, I can't keep doing this. And it's like the Lord spoke in my heart. He said, you gotta remember what you loved him for to begin with, and you start acting like you still feel that way. And it was almost miraculous, that rush of emotional love came back when I started acting like that's how I still felt. Many things I love about Gary, but one of the most important is that he is consistent. I don't have to guess how he's gonna respond to something. He is what he is, what he is. He's stable, and he's funny, and he's kind.
What I like about Sheri is she takes care of me. She puts her family, me, before herself. Also generous and cares about her family. And she's cute.
Oh, my mother or me?
You. Both.